You got hooked up with Junkyard Dog, I believe, sort of to get into the business, or something.
There's a story that goes there. We should probably back up a little bit from there. I actually started going to Atlanta television, which was then called the NWA, Georgia Championship Wrestling. I went down, I wrestled some TV matches, and I happened to wrestle Bob Armstrong and Brad in a TV match, and obviously pretty much got pounded.
Right.
But Bob saw something in me and maybe potential or diamond in the rough or whatever. And following that match, Bob went back to Pensacola, where he became part of the booking committee and booking office down there, talent relations. Called me and asked me if I'd like to come down and for a few weeks work. So I went down and worked about 3 weeks for Southeastern Championship Wrestling. When that little stint was over, he said, listen, Bill Watts is over in Louisiana. I think he would like a guy like you. What do you think? I said, well, this is what I want to do. Please, anything you can do. He sent me over to do a couple of TVs. Went over. Bill asked me to come back and put me to work. 5.5 months, I worked for him. Strictly first match, all the way. Just learning. Didn't know anything.
Right. Were you a wrestling fan growing up?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The biggest. God, I was the kid at 8, 9 years old. Would put on a ski mask, put a shoelace down in my underwear, call one of my buddies down. He'd come in the front door. I'd jump off the couch and strangle him to death. The worst. I was the worst. It's all I ever wanted to do from day one. Consequently, being such a huge fan, for Bob Armstrong, who was one of my heroes, to take an interest in me was flabbergasting. Anyway, where the Junkyard Dog story comes in is at the end of that 5.5 months, it was time because guys in those days went from territory to territory, and the length of stay in an underleaf slot was probably 6 months tops. Matt Borne, who was with Ted DiBiase on top as part of the Rat Pack with himself, Doug, and DiBiase, Matt Borne was heading to Atlanta and he needed a partner. We were at TV one day and they were kicking it around. I just happened to be sitting there and he said, I need a partner for Borne, Dog, what do you think? He said, Bill. And that voice of his, Bill. Kid looks just like Ole Anderson. That's an Anderson. Send him with him, make him an Anderson. Bill looked at me and said, I'll get on the phone. It was Junkyard Dog's idea, and I owe him. God bless him. Rest in peace. He was a good man.
Right.
That was my first break. He got a hold of Ole. Ole said, let me have a look at the kid. That's where he brought me in with Borne and renamed me from Marty Lundy, as to who I am, to Arn Anderson. Ole gave me the name.
What was Ole like as a booker in Georgia?
Tyrant, loud, intimidating, incredibly knowledgeable, incredibly fair, had tunnel vision, and probably was the one guy that I was the most afraid of in the wrestling business. Intimidated me to no end.
What about Bill Watts? Because it sounds like you're talking about Bill Watts, but you're actually talking about
Same thing.
Right.
Again, I knew Bill Watts strictly as a fan up until that point. Then I knew him as the boss. Bill had I guess Bill was a man's man and always had been, plus the fact that Bill was always the boss.
Right.
So he held your future in his hands. And a lot of guys would not rock the boat. In those days, you didn't cross the boss, period. Number one, God knows what it would have cost you physically, financially, and if they blackballed you in those days, if you were a troublemaker, what are you going to do? Whack the boss?
Right.
What's the next guy going to do? The next promoter bring you in knowing that you whacked the last guy? Bill was pretty intimidating too, equally as much as Ole, I would say.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.